welcome to Recall the Midwife. We are three super fans, and each week we watch an episode and talk about it. Today we are watching the series 8/9 Christmas special.
Yeah, 2019.
I'm Becky.
I'm Alex.
I'm Jen. A reminder that this week's episode deals with traumatic birth, mental health, alcoholism, and loss of parents. So if those topics are ones you would prefer to skip this time, we understand and hope you join us for the next one. In this week's episode, it is almost Christmas in Poplar. Everyone in Nonnatus house has been sick, so reinforcements from the Mother house have arrived, along with Mother Mildred. She tells Sister Julian of her plan to open a new branch of the order in the Outer Hebrides. Everyone prepares to go, but Sister Monica Joan is told she needs to stay at home. Once arrived, the team work to set everyone up, and soon they begin to meet their new community. The McCaskills are the couple that run the lighthouse, and when Mrs. McCaskill goes into labor, Dr. Turner, Lucille, and Val must go to help. The baby comes, but a bigger challenge presents itself when Mrs. McCaskill needs an emergency appendectomy, and Dr. Turner is the only option. The McLeod family have taken in Effie, Mrs. McLeod's niece, after her mother died from TB when she was 12, but Mrs. McLeod is worried about Effie's wild ways. They have a heart-to-heart which shows Effie how much she is loved. Meanwhile, Sister Monica Joan cons Sister Hilda to carry out her plan to see a white stag in Scotland, believing she will see Jesus in his antlers. Sister Hilda alerts the authorities, and Sister Monica Joan makes the journey safely, but Mother Mildred is upset. Reggie and Violet have been left alone while Fred is gone, and Violet feels badly that Reggie is missing his holiday tradition of making paper chains. With some help from Mrs. Higgins, they get to making them, and then want to break a world record. So even the crew in Scotland get in on the action and come together just as they return to meet. Reggie's goal and celebrate the holidays. Oh, I mean, I condensed a lot. This episode had a lot. It was a 2-episode, so if that makes sense.
It really was. But also, this was the first Christmas special that I watched live on the day. So this is after I'd had my bad birth. This is after I'd had all the whole horrible time. This is after I'd started my therapy, and they were like, look, you need to start watching Call the Midwife or One Born Every Minute. And this was so I already started watching it by then, but this is the first one I actually watched on Christmas Day, watching it live.
And me, I was the same.
Yeah, because I made you watch it, because I was like, it's really good, you'll love it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever watched any of these live, but I get what you mean.
That's because you live in America, though.
I know.
Cool. I like a Strictly Come Dancing and a Call the Midwife on. That's just makes my Christmas.
I don't like the Christmas Strictly Come Dancing.
Why? Screw.
I know. You're always like, are you watching? I'm like,
I don't know. You could have just told me I don't like the Christmas one, but you just don't. And then I'm always asking. I just won't ask anymore. Now I know.
Jen, last week you were like, oh, why did Mr. Schroeder have to be German? This week,
oh my word.
I'm like, why did they have to go to the Outer Hebrides?
Yeah,
Such
why?
a long journey, wasn't it?
It was like a bus. It was like a car to a bus to a train to a thing to a thing to a thing.
I really like the bit where they're all in the carriage looking dead happy, and then you see them after. They don't look happy. They do not look happy or like they're having fun at all. How many hours must that have been?
Well, they were packed in that train car like a tin of sardines. Like they were all shoulder to shoulder. I was like, you're literally gonna sit like that for God knows how many hours? Like with all. Oh no.
My favorite acting was when they had to act that they were pulling into the station.
I know, it was
and
all
they
like
all had to like suddenly lurch forward in their seats. That was amazing.
Yeah, I could literally hear the director going, action, and the train is stopping, everyone. Okay, and like you could just hear it. It was so canned. It was ridiculous.
So shall we talk about why they're going out to the Outer Hebrides?
Well, should we start? Episode starts with everybody's basically got the flu.
Yeah, like properly ill.
But it's still Christmas.
I'm surprised it doesn't happen more with how much illness they're around, but carry on.
Yeah. I tried to look up Nurse Crane's onion remedy. They said it was onion and sugar.
Yeah.
And I tried to Google an onion remedy for colds, and it just said to put an onion in your sock.
That's a very French thing, to put an onion in your sock.
Does it draw it out of you?
Yeah.
Well, wait, put an onion in a sock and then what?
Overnight, just sleep with an onion in your sock.
And not just, it's got to be cut, the onion.
Yeah, by your foot.
So the wet cut end of the onion is touching your foot?
Yeah.
No.
Miriam Margolyes would love it, Jen.
I know she would.
She'd eat it in the morning.
Yeah. I'm sure she'd be like, she'd eat the other half. She'd be like, this is so great.
So if anybody who's listening knows what Nurse Crane has done, please let me know, because I might try it in the winter.
I won't, but I'm interested.
Well,
still.
I was unclear when Nurse Crane says, oh, it's cleared out me tubes.
Yeah.
Because she's all congested.
Oh.
The science is not
I
in a
was
nice
like, it doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense to me. I was like, huh? I don't know. I get what she's saying, but when I heard her say it, I thought it made her like go to the
Give it
bathroom.
props.
That's what I thought she was talking about. I was like, why did you need to clean out those tubes? You know what I mean? But anyways.
Well, they're all really ill, but Val's still smoking.
Yeah, well, classic. Like I have a terrible respiratory illness, but I'm gonna inhale 1,500 cigarettes. Also, wait, can we just jump to like Fred being Santa Claus and Angela telling Fred that her one Christmas wish was that her parents would get up and put clothes on, which sounded like
get
the
out
most
of bed and put some clothes on. Do you know, this
Yeah.
reminds my friend, her daughter was at nursery and she said that her daddy was dirty in bed. She used to get the words lazy and dirty mixed up. She was like, "Where's your daddy?"
Oh my God.
Like, my daddy's dirty in bed.
Oh, it sounded like the most like scandalous horn dog thing Angela ever could have said about Sheila and Dr. Turner. And just basically like, you know, doing
That's
marital
amazing.
relations in bed. I was like, oh,
So they were
Now,
all
when-
really, really ill. Everyone, so basically Sister Hilda, Sister Francis, they were all doing everything and doing really well.
But
looking
what
after
has Sister
everything.
Hilda done to the Rolodex? Because when Phyllis says she's ready to get back to it, she looks at Sister Francis and I'm like, what have you done?
Yeah, the panicked look on her face. I was like, what? But also, she was saying how Phyllis was saying after she'd done that treatment, probably why I'm in my slacks and gearing up to inspect my Rolodex. And yeah, her face was so just panicked and looking at Sister Francis. It was absolutely lols.
And
I mean, she could have done anything. It could have been
Yeah.
anything.
I need to talk about, once again, Dr. Turner when he rings Nanata's house. Does he ring Nanata's house?
No, he rings
And
the
he's like-
surgery to Miss Higgins because Miss Higgins has got everything sorted with a locum.
But then he says that Sheila needs, I've written down Sheila needs help with reindeers. But did he say
Antlers, reindeer antlers.
And he looks over at Sheila and she's literally comatose on the sofa. I was like, does she need help, Dr. Turner, or do you need help?
Well, Sheila's
Well,
probably
that's
the one who
age-old
said
question.
she's a female in the 1960s household who's obviously tasked with sorting out a load of antlers for the kids. I really like the group though, with that grouping of Miss Higgins, Phyllis, Sister Francis, and Sister Mojo.
Sister Hilda.
And Sister Hilda. I loved it. I would have loved being there, just having a lovely time, having a chat to them, making
Yeah.
some antlers. That'd be lush.
The thing is, Sheila's made the antlers like many years in a row, or she's made the costumes many years in a row now, so it shouldn't be a surprise that Sheila's in charge of all that.
Also, why
Yeah.
have they not got the previous year's antlers?
Well, every year they have something new. They never, for like, they really should reuse more, but they never do on this show.
They gave them to the kids who are from a really poor background, Bex. Think about
Also, cheeky Mother Mildred getting the oranges for free.
that.
Oh,
A modest
I like
discount from the
that.
celestial realm.
I like that. And then the way the merchant was like, no, they're on me. That to me was nice. I like that. That's how I feel like it should be done. Like I felt like I like that. I'm sorry. I liked it. And like,
So-
what a treat. Remember when like things like that were, well, we don't remember when things like that were such a treat, but like, what a treat.
But also, what a good idea bringing them oranges when they're all really poorly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So she comes to Namata's house, Mother Mildred, and she's like, right, you're all doing such a good job of holding the fort. What I'm going to do, take all the ill ones and take them for a really lovely convalescence in the Outer Hebrides. And everyone's a
Mhm.
bit like, yay. So Sister Monica Jones like, I really want to go. And Sister Francis is like, why do I have to stay and look after the Turner children? Like,
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
honestly, why though? That I was like, yes, Sister Francis, why? Like that was crazy to me.
Also, it's as if they've gone to the Outer Hebrides and all maternity care in Poplar has just ceased.
yeah, it's Christmas, so no one's obviously, no one needs it.
Like Sister Hilda and Sister Francis obviously don't have any babies to deliver.
I know, it's just absolutely ridiculous, isn't it?
Now, I have to say, Phyllis and Fred are the only ones with any warmth in their clothing in the Outer Hebrides.
Well, you say that,
Oh.
but when they first turned up, Phyllis, I'm sure she had bare legs, so I thought that's very unusual for the time, especially for Sister Hilda, Sister Nurse Crane.
No,
She wasn't
she- no-
wearing. She wasn't.
no,
No,
she
when
had-
they first turned up, she was wearing like she had like boots on, but she had her legs. They might have been like really thin tights, but they weren't slacks. Watch it
Well,
again.
none of them look like they were dressed for the weather. I mean, Val had like the thinnest like fashion coat on for the journey. I like none of them looked like they knew what they were getting into with that weather.
So did Effie actually, and she knew what she was getting into. But we'll talk
Yeah.
about that later. Also,
well, and
poor
she was
Violet-
from Scotland. She should know better.
Well, exactly. But Violet was fuming about Fred going. I think I would be as well, if I'm honest. Like a few days before Christmas, and you go in like,
Yeah, there's just so much to be done on the run up to Christmas.
yeah, I'd be fuming.
Sister Monica Joan is fuming because she wants to go. Do you know the legend of St. Eustace, Jen?
Not really.
Okay, great.
No, I mean, I got what they were inferring, but it didn't I mean, I'm sure my mom knows. She's a way, as we've seen, she's a way bigger, like, religious historian than I am, but no, that's not a big one for me in my life.
Do you want to
Sorry.
say what it is, Bex?
I don't know. I was hoping Jen would be able to explain it to us.
Oh.
I mean, well, I mean, according to the show, it's where a saint sees the face of Jesus in a stag's antlers, a white stag, right? And that's like a
St.
sign
Eustace,
from the Lord to him
all
or
I've got
something?
is St. Eustace was a Roman general who encountered a large stag while out hunting. He pursued the beast, but found when it stopped that it had an image of the crucified Christ between its antlers. The encounter led to Eustace's conversion to Christianity.
I love
Yeah.
the fact that Sister Hilda said that Sister Monica Joan could just see a stag in Richmond Park. And do you know what it made me think of?
Go on.
Fenton.
Oh, yeah.
Made you think of what?
Have you ever seen this video? It's a really like it's from the start of social media, like before social media became
One of the
as
first
big as
viral videos.
yeah. So it's this guy who's walking his dog called Fenton in Richmond Park. You need to just if you just Google Fenton, Fenton, and he's basically walking his dog, and then this dog starts running after the deer in the park. And then there's just this stampede, and it's just this guy yelling, and it's just the most hilarious thing ever.
Fenton! Fenton! And it's actually lols.
It's just hilarious. It's just as he realizes just how bad he's getting. I recommend anybody look that up.
I'll have to have a look and see if I can
So
find that
anyway,
one.
they all go up to the Outer Hebrides, and they set up a clinic there, and it basically is Mother Mildred basically being like, we need to carry on this mission here, blah, 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 blah. So they go up there, and it's a bit of a, what's the word? It's not, they're not prepared for it. They have to go and set everything up. They have to find loads of stuff in the hall and everything. This horrible old cow comes in complaining about them being there. It's horrible.
Yeah. And I don't understand really how Mother Mildred made the connection that because they're not made to feel welcome.
No, it's a long bloody journey as well.
Yeah. Like you would just think someone would just go from Stornoway or something.
What do you think?
Well, did you really think that a woman named Morag Naughty is going to be like a welcome? You know what I mean? Like she was set up from the beginning to be.
I had a girl called Morag in my class at college, and she was so lovely, but I've never met a Morag before or since.
I have literally never even heard that name.
I've never met a Morag.
Well, I was quite shocked at it, and her sister was called something like Bethany. You know when you like expect them to be two really like Scottish names, like I can't think
Was there a Morag in Neighbours?
No, there was one in Home and Away.
Oh, that's why I know it.
With our sister. But also speaking of names, the names in this show this time, they could not have been. There's an Angus, there's an Effie, there's an Isla. They couldn't have been more stereotypical.
Yeah.
And when this midwives first went out and they were doing like rounds around, and then they were these women were like putting stuff on the washing line. They had this massive thing of tartan. I just thought this is literally absolutely ridiculous. True to life, yeah. So should we talk about some of the residents on the Outer Hebrides? Who are we starting with?
Bex?
Should we? Well, I didn't catch their names, but the woman who basically gave birth in the Land Rover. So they set up the clinic. They worry that nobody's going to come, but then there's like hordes of pregnant women.
Yeah, like how many people actually live there?
But then a Land Rover pulls in at speed, beeping, and basically the woman's given birth in the Land Rover.
Oh, bless her. That sounds like a terrible thing to have happen to you.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see, and then she's still bleeding.
Ugh.
So they cut the cord and they have to get her into the clinic. But then she's just in the clinic. I just wanted to see the transition.
Well, I was like, how have they got her in? I was the same because they sent her husband in. Like he's got some strength. Get him to help. Get her into not just leave it to like little Sheila and Lucille.
No, it was Trixie.
Oh, either way. Well, it might have been Lucille dragging her from there. We don't know.
Also, she delivers the placenta. They realise that part of the placenta is missing. I don't think we needed to see the missing part of the placenta.
We did not need to see the missing part of the placenta.
So, girls, it wasn't even like that much. I'm like, wow, these placentas are being so like hardcore. Like, it was not that much.
Yeah.
No, but
like, seems like a lot.
They realised that she's not, the uterus isn't contracting, she's still bleeding. They need Dr. Turner, so they get Dr. Turner over. Yet again, he doesn't actually do anything. They just get him and he watches them do the work.
Also, if you had a baby in a car, what would you call it? I was thinking they could call it Morris Minor.
No, they just call it Morris. You wouldn't call it Morris Minor.
It's the minor being a baby, like It was a hilarious joke. Yeah.
She's wrecked the seat of that Land Rover.
I thought that as well.
No. In this time, no. People are just gonna be like, we'll just give it a wipe down. It'll be fine. No one cares about that stuff in this day and age. Mm-mm.
Ugh, rank.
I mean, I'm not saying I would want it, but I'm just saying like we've seen it before. Like these people are not getting fussed over a little bodily fluid of whatever kind.
A little, yeah.
Ugh.
So then basically,
But they weren't
again,
really like important people in the show. Like they were kind of like just to illustrate, like
we do see them again,
you know,
because we'll talk about them later, shall we? Because it's to do with the mojo thing. So should we talk about that after?
Yes,
sure.
Yeah. Okay. So who should we do now? Effie?
Yeah, let's talk about Effie. Effie is basically a wild child, isn't she? That's how
Girls.
I've sent a picture of some eyebrows to you before. She was just all about her eyebrows.
She's just a young girl.
No, I think they've made them darker to make her look a bit more like wild. I liked them.
Okay.
I liked them, but I don't know if that was her real colour hair, is what I'm saying. She had bright red hair like a mum and dark eyebrows, and I thought, if you got red hair, you don't have dark eyebrows. That was my whole thing.
Yeah.
But let's be real, the eyebrows were not the problem. I mean, she had a lot of other issues going on.
Well, the psalms, because they made her head hurt. She left the hall where they were singing psalms, Jen, because they made her head hurt.
I know, and I'll be real, like when I like her, she kind of annoyed me, but I also felt bad for her. I felt like, oh, this makes sense, like how you're behaving. But also I was like, you live in a town with about 15 people. Like I wouldn't be up for this either. You know what I mean? Like, oh, no.
Well, any normal teenager wouldn't, but one who's lost a mum is really unhappy and lashing out about it.
Yeah.
They're going to be especially unhappy. And also, I'm not being funny, Isla, her little cousin, well annoying. Just well annoying.
Oh my God, she was so annoying.
No, Becky, I would have absolutely hated her.
Oh, the whole thing where she was crying on the bed drove me insane. I was like, oh my God, I just could not with her.
Well, let's give it. So she's got a calf. So she's like looking after the calf. She gets really mucky. So her mum says to her, you need to get changed into your nightdress.
Because that's all that's clean.
Yeah. So she puts on this massive flannelette nightdress, which
reminds me of me when I used to wear stuff like that when I was little.
Yeah. And Effie puts on the radio and they start, her mum's gone out to sort the washing. They start dancing around.
So Hippie Shakes by the Swinging Blue Jeans. Fun fact, my dad knows one of them.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, he's good friends with one of them.
Ooh, how did that happen?
He lives around here. He was an insurance salesman, I think, for a while.
Oh my God, that's funny. Okay, very cool.
Yeah. So they're dancing.
But, the nightdress basically catches in the fire and she burns her legs. And mum hears the scream, runs in. They have to throw the water over her. Oh, and they put butter on the burns.
But again, that's what people used to do in the olden days. And I think that what they're trying to say is like people in Outer Hebrides are thick.
Girls, I'm sorry, but like... You said it, girls. I'm sorry, but the way that this town, literally 1 second after the crew from Nanada showed up, had about 45 incredibly intense medical emergencies. I just was like, how, like, no wonder there's so few people here, because one thing happens and then they just die. Like, there would be no way for any of you guys to survive. Like, they're like, oh, the nearest doctor is in, like, Stowaway or whatever.
Stowaway.
And it's like, well, that's 2 hours. It's like, well, she's not going to even live 2 hours. Like, that's where the lady who had the baby in the car thing, it was like, oh, well, you know, Mother Mildred is like, well, I rang the ambulance, they're gonna be here, and Dr. Turner's like, yeah, but she's not gonna get the transfusion for 4 hours, like she could be dead by then. And Mother Mildred's like, oh yeah, good point, I mean, I guess, or whatever. And it's just like, yeah. She's like, I mean, you know. And I just was like, ma'am, I mean, it illustrated the fact that they clearly needed that support, but I just was like, how has anyone survived in this area? Like, it's ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
That's why everybody's had to get pregnant at the same time to repopulate.
Oh my God, just unreal. Like,
so anyway,
Isla's not making it.
Yeah, well, Isla's burnt her legs. She's being a little cow. And I know she's awful. She likes cows.
She has a little cow and she's being one as well. There you go.
I mean, she is in pain. I would not have indulged her because Trixie goes into the bar. So, I mean, this is...
Becky, can I just say, hang on. I have been around you and your niece and nephew and the dog. I can 1 billion% say, yes, you would indulge. You 100%. You'd be lying in the car. You'd let the calf go in your bed and you'd sleep in the barn.
Well, Bex,
Please,
where are
your
you right
nephew and
now?
me.
What are you doing right now? What did you say to us when we got on the phone today?
Yeah, I am dog sitting this weekend.
You're dog sitting and you're like, oh, and I'm here because he's just better when he's in his own home.
So basically, you're in
He's
you're
a dog.
you're in a
He's a
barn.
dog.
You're in the barn with your knee in cow poo. That's basically what is happening.
Yeah,
right
you're
now.
you're taking off your stocking and you're tying it around the calf's neck to drag it into the main whatever room they have there.
Yeah.
But when Trixie goes in to get the calf, I don't think she's got leather gloves on, but she looks like she's going to murder the calf.
She did. I did think Richard Hillman from Curry.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that made me laugh was when Trixie was like, well, "What are we gonna do?" And literally Phyllis was like, "I don't know. We don't really have like enough to like warrant sedating her again." And
Well,
I was just
also,
like,
why did they have to be so graphic? So they get the calf, right? They get the calf, they get it in, and she's like, "Oh, he's looking in his eyes. He sees that I'm sad." And I just thought, yeah, everyone else is around you as well. That sounded like Jimmy Cranky, didn't it?
I was like, I don't know. I mean, I know I do bad accents, but that was crazy. Oh my gosh. Well, also like as if this cow cares at all about you and like
right,
your
Jen,
feelings.
In the 80s, there was a really famous couple on TV called the Crankies, right? And it was a real in real life, they were married, right? They were a husband and wife, but the wife was really short and she used to play this. Looking back, it's weird and wrong, but she used to play a schoolboy called Jimmy Cranky. And she used to dress as a schoolboy, and he'd be there, be like, "Don't do that, Jimmy." She'd be like, catch yourself on, and like just say horrible things to it. And I've just done a really good impression twice of just Jimmy Cranky, but not.
I'm surprised there's not been any like scandals that have come out of.
They did. They said they were swingers.
No.
She did a photo shoot in lingerie, and everyone was like, "Oh, like this is really confusing and weird."
Oh, well, especially when you made your career as like playing a little boy, like that's kind of
yeah, exactly. Anyway, so Isla's being Jimmy Cranky, being like, "Oh, the calf knows I'm in pain," and then he knows I'm hurt, and then
he doesn't know you're hurt. Like, but okay,
that's all we can hope for someone who knows we're in pain. I'm like, all right, Trixie, taking this a bit.
Trixie just spends the whole episode just saying really philosophical things.
Yeah, it's like they've taken her away. She's got away from London so she can think about things. They showed the actual burns. There was no need for that. Call the midwife, people. No need for that.
No need for what?
To show the actual burns.
Oh, yeah. They were kind of gross.
Yeah. Now, in the meantime, in the background, we hear from Effie's
auntie. We saw a lot of gross stuff in this episode.
We did. And it was Christmas Day. Think about that, Jen.
Yeah.
You know, I've been stuffed. Anyway, so Effie they're going on about Effie, her auntie is, to the midwives, and she's saying, "Oh, you know, her dad was a submariner from Norway. He's long enough to leave my sister with a baby, but not long enough to leave her with a ring. And she's the same as her mother, wild, needs reining in. So she's obviously struggling with her sister. No, with her niece, but she's very much like a sister. So she obviously had a bit of a difficult relationship with her sister as well. And then we see Effie with a bottle of alcohol hidden in a wall. She only had a tiny bit of alcohol in there. I'm not being funny. That would not knock her out.
No.
Well, if she's not used to drinking, it would. I mean, it was like I think a fifth in there. I mean, she had like half of it.
Nah. Apparently, well, yeah, but if she's already been drinking, this is what they're trying to intimate, that she's wild.
Okay, I don't know.
But anyway, she's just lying on the road casually. We find her.
She was drunk. She's drunk. She passed out. She's drunk. That's
just in the middle of the road, just as you do.
Yeah.
But for continuity's sake, we're going to come on to the story about Angus and Janet. But Angus and Janet is basically giving birth on the Lightkeepers Island, and it's a wild storm. There's thunder. The wind is blowing. Meanwhile, on the next island, Trixie and Phyllis have just happened upon Effie. Perfectly calm, dry night.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
That is so true.
Yeah,
that's insane. Can we talk about lighthouses?
Well, maybe it was far away then. Like maybe it was actually like kind of legitimately far away.
No, Jen, it was just a continuity issue. They get her back to it's not a convent.
Well, it's wherever they're all staying. It's like that big stone abandoned church where they've been. Because it looks like a church because when they first walk up, Mother Mildred is like, "Come, Sister Julian, let us enter as others before us, like come as pilgrims or something like that.
Yeah.
And so they walk into this like massive stone church that literally looks like it has nothing inside of it. And it's just like, and then they're all just like meant to so basically this scene is where, well, sorry, I'm just rewinding just a little bit. So the scene where they first come and they first set up is, imagine like everything that the Africa like trip was when they first got there, and they were like, okay, what are we supposed to do here? Except instead of it being like hot as hell and like everything is like a wooden building like structure with like I mean floors, but like also just kind of like dirt floors, whatever. This is like a stone structure that's absolutely freezing, no insulation. They're like literally cobbling together like whatever they can to sleep. Like they're piling coats on top of themselves so that they can have those as blankets and everything. And that's like tonally where we're at. And so then when they take Effie back to wherever that is, that's they like put her in like whatever they can get her to like cozy her up and like sober her up while she's sleeping it off, basically.
Because they put her in Trixie's silk pajamas, which will have zero warmth in them.
Well, I mean, yeah, again, they give her what they've got, basically, is what they do.
And then again, Trixie's like, Effie didn't do this because she's bad. She did it because she's unhappy. She's just full of all these like philosophical like
and the fact that she sees herself reflected in Effie.
Yeah.
It also was weird because I was like, I mean, I got it what Trixie was saying, but I'm like, did you really have to tell Phyllis that? Like, I didn't think Phyllis was gonna be like, oh, you're a bad girl. Like, I just was like, this is Phyllis, come on. Like, it was like she had to say it, not it just. I was just like, you don't.
No, I'm the same. It's like you trying to say that Phyllis thinks that she's awful and she's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like Phyllis is not the type of person that would have been like so judgmental about this, you know? Like maybe somebody else, but not Phyllis. I'm like, no. I'm like, okay. I mean, it was fine that she said it, but I just was like, anyway, I was like, well,
the next morning, Phyllis gave her a kipper. Because you know that's what you want when you want over.
Honestly, that's what she deserves. Because like, don't drink anymore, girl. This was gonna happen. Like, listen, if you drink, I'm gonna give you a kipper. There you go.
To be fair, that is pretty good for like, you know, what's it called when you think about something when you've had something else?
Well, yeah, she'll just have like a permanent aversion.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right word, but I know what you mean.
Yeah. So Phyllis and Effie actually have quite a nice little scene there about how do you know I'm a bastard? And Phyllis is like, well, you know, if you mean your mother wasn't married, then my mother wasn't married either. And she was like, you know, do you not feel ashamed and all this? And it's actually really sad.
Yeah.
And then Phyllis said this lovely moving thing about how lonely they were and all this, but saying how proud she was with her mother. And she keeping me took courage, and I decided I wanted to make her proud of me. I just thought it was really actually lovely. And then
oh wait, Phyllis wanted to make her mom proud of her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then Trixie comes with her aunt, and her aunt looks like she's going to punch her in the face at first, but then they have this big kid though, didn't she? And then they have this big like cuddle and a big scene, like because obviously I think they're both struggling, and I think she thinks her auntie, but her auntie's actually really nice. She keeps saying stuff to her like, you know, you don't have to do that, Effie, and you know, you're great as you are, Effie. But she's just really raging against the machine.
Yeah.
Well, also like let's give like just a moment to her aunt, because her aunt is like,
well, she's already got
like,
one dickhead.
She's like, well, she's like in her second semester of her pregnancy as well. Second trimester of her pregnancy as well. Like she's pregnant. She's got like a whole thing of, you know, on her plate and everything like that. And it's just like she's trying to hold body and soul together in this, you know, godforsaken, like, you know, cold as hell,
and she's got a
like
flaming
landscape.
calf obsessed Isla.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's going to test your patience.
Oh my God, yes. So
yeah, she didn't give birth though. That would have been one too many storylines. I thought she can't give birth too. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, I thought that was going to be another one.
Yeah, when they had the scene where Effie was talking to her and she said something about, I don't know, Effie was at the kitchen table and she's like, well, we've got to prepare for this baby. It's coming in the spring. I was like, okay, thank God. Like, we're not gonna, like, we've already got enough babies just like popping out of everywhere at this point. So yeah, that wasn't part of her problem.
Speaking about babies popping out, should we talk about the Lighthouse couple? They can be lifted. That was a really horrible joke about the Lighthouse family. But like we've been in a lighthouse for our friend from university used to work in one at Flamborough Head.
I've not been.
Oh, I've been up it.
Yeah.
It was very exciting.
I don't remember that.
Oh well, I'll tell you after. It was really good.
So you've been in a lighthouse, is what you're saying. That's what you told us.
Well, no, also someone who we know at university also used to run it and do the tours.
Was he actually the lighthouse keeper?
It wasn't. Don't think it was working anymore.
Oh.
So he just used to show people around. Yeah.
That's a great story, Alex.
Thank you. I think you'll find it's very on brand. So Janet and Angus, Jan and Ang. Oh, do you know what? Saying about seeing her home through his eyes because she was desperate to leave there. But then when he came, he was like, "Oh, this is amazing."
That's nice.
So Janet goes into labour in the lighthouse, and the boatman is like, "No, I can't take you on the boat today because it's Sunday."
Janet goes into labour. Angus wants to Angus wants to take Janet to get care, but she says you can't leave the island, you can't leave the lighthouse unmanned because otherwise you're going to lose your job. So that's when Dr. Turner, Fred, Lucille, and Val have to go over.
Well, it's a good job they had all 4 of them.
Yeah.
Also, okay.
So what religion are they in the Outer Hebrides? Because they're really
I'm so
strict.
unclear on that. I'm like, I don't know what you guys are practicing up there. I could not tell you.
See, Jen was going to be my go-to here, so I have no idea either.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't they celebrate Christmas? I mean, you guys should know this. You guys are from this.
We're not from the Outer Hebrides.
I know, but it's like I'm not from Arizona, but I know about like Mormons and stuff like that. Like what are they you guys are from this regionally.
Well,
Calvinist.
Calvinists.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've never even heard of that before now.
Well, I have about the Calvinist
I've heard of Calvinists. Yeah, I have heard of that.
Quite
that's like a really old fashioned tradition. Like really old fashioned.
Christianity, like proper stripped down.
It's almost like that. Calvinists make me think of like pilgrims, like the people who came to the United States. Like,
you know who Calvinists make me think of? That horrible cow old woman.
Yeah,
she played it well.
Oh my God, when she went in there and was yelling at Fred about the Christmas tree, I was like, "Ma'am, you need to stop."
Yeah, what is that pagan monstrosity in this hall? It's not the custom in these islands. It never was and it never will be. I thought, calm down, mate.
Well, he's like, "Oh, I just wanted to do something for the kitties." I'm like, "Yeah, can you please like just chill? Like it's a tree. I mean, it didn't. Oh, it was. She was just doing too much. She was doing too much."
Well, she was Janet's grandma, but let's carry on about Janet first.
Well, Lucille, Val, Fred, and Dr. Turner have to get across to the island. The boatkeeper won't row them because it's a Sunday and he won't row.
Which was insane.
Labour.
They were like, okay, well, listen, like we really need to go. He's like, I'm offended you would even ask. And they're like, okay, well, what if we paid you double? He's like, no, that's worth. They're like, no, that's worse. And then they're like, okay, well, can you just do it out of the kindness of your heart? And he's like, no, I can't do that either. It's like, sir. You're giving no solutions here. You're giving also like, why wouldn't you want to help a brethren in need? Okay, like that's against your religion. Just being nice, just being like helpful.
It was ridiculous. Lucilla did appeal to his good side though, basically saying if you don't look when we just take it, we'll borrow it.
Yeah, well, she was like, listen, you and I believe in the same God. Like, can you just like help me out here for 1 second? It was so silly.
And I would not trust Dr. Turner and Fred to row me across to that island.
Same.
Really? Oh. Okay.
They did not look as if they were firstly heading in the right direction.
They didn't look confident.
No.
Well, Dr. Turner is not like a handy guy.
So Janet basically has the baby. That is the most straightforward part.
Mm-hmm.
It's kicking up a storm. Angus has got to be in the lighthouse, but
yeah.
But she mentions that she's been having pains and she's been having pains in places that they wouldn't expect her to be. And Lucille comments that she's pyrexic.
Yeah.
Do you know what that means?
No, I don't.
It means she's hot. And do you know what? I've just literally, as I've been looking at my notes, realised that that's why it's called that's why Pyrex is called Pyrex.
Yeah.
Because it can take a lot of heat or it's made in a lot of heat. It's heat proof.
Because it's heat proof.
Ooh.
Well, the other thing that Janet was talking about, so she had a bit of pain on one side, and I thought, oh, what pain on one side as a viewer, not as a medical professional. But I was like, oh, I wonder if it's exactly what it was, which was, what's it called?
Oh, appendicitis.
Appendicitis.
So, see, I had this last week when Fred had his issue, because I was watching with my mom and she was like, oh, what if it's hemorrhoids? And I was like, no, it sounds like a prostate to me. Again, like as if I'm a doctor.
Exactly.
And I was right. And so you were right. But then
she was like, when she actually started going to labor, they were like, oh, where's the pain? Is it still there? And she's like, oh, pain is all good. It's more like power, like a force. I thought, F off. I'm sorry, I've given birth. It's absolutely the worst thing in the history of the world. I couldn't determine where the pain was. It was everywhere, and it was awful.
It would also take... Yeah, I mean, God bless her, but no, I don't think that's right. No.
So anyway, when it had this force 10 power that she had, outside there was a force 10 gale, inside there was a force 10 power she had, having a baby boy, and he was well cute, wasn't he?
Oh, the babies were really cute on this episode.
Yeah, and she was like,
Yeah.
"Can we want to take him out and show him?" Then they were like, "He's going to fly out your arms into the water." Like, what the hell are you doing? And so they
She
were,
wanted to open the window, which I think was because she was so hot anyway. And then they just listened to the wind. And as I was watching the episode, I thought, oh, it's so cozy being inside with the wind whistling outside.
The cute appendicitis.
But then last night we had a storm and it blew an absolute gale, and I hated every second of it.
Oh, see.
Yeah, I liked it. I really like a storm. I always feel really, really cozy. We had our window open last night while the storm was on. We were loving it.
Now I get really worried that like the roof's going to blow up or something.
As long as I don't lose power, I'm fine. But if power goes out, then all of a sudden I'm like, no, we're not doing this.
See, my husband's like, he's not a prepper. This makes him sound like an absolute nutter, but he loves it when the power goes out. He's got a wind-up radio. He's got a little pack where we've all got lights for our foreheads. He's got candles.
Oh my God. Well,
Bobs loves it.
See, well, how often does the power go out though?
It's happened in our lives twice, and she's loved every second. That's why he's made a bit, he's got a bit more into it and got a radio.
Oh yeah, because he wants to kind of play it up. Yeah, I will say like so where I live is now in like the hurricane zone and everything, and so
honestly,
yeah, absolutely. So and it's
insurance.
Yeah.
Always wondered
and it's hurricane season right now, which we've been tracking a lot because just
there was that big one of Texas, literally on the news like 2 days ago here.
There was a big hurricane in Texas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it Texas?
Yeah.
Well, I heard of the one last week that hit the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't realize I read a thing about the Texas state being like, this is a state of emergency.
Oh, I mean, I haven't heard about it, but they do have it because there is a huge portion of the Texas coastline that's in the Gulf.
2 days ago, Governor Abbott increases readiness level of state emergency due to the flaming did happen to you, Hurricane Beryl. I'm right. Carry on.
Oh, Beryl, but Beryl is really hit the Caribbean the most. I mean, they just increased their readiness in case it came to them, but it really hit those other islands the most. But the thing that was really scary about it was that we've not had a hurricane that strong this early in the season ever before. So it's another it's another climate change thing, which is like very concerning because obviously
we've had a week of summer here in England. It's just been honestly, it's been is rain.
Oh, see, yeah, I wish we'd
cold.
We haven't had rain for over a week at this point, and I'm really wishing we would get some. The thing was, so I was at work and we were talking about hurricane, like has anyone gone through hurricane season before or whatever. Now I've been through many hurricane seasons, but not like with that thoughtfulness of like prepping for it. And so I said to my mom, I was like, oh, I think we really need to get like a kit together of all the stuff that you need whenever you're trying to, we need flashlights. We need, I really just got as far as flashlights, but what else can we put in a kit to kind of like make us ready for something like that? Because I just don't want to be caught out. And then phone chargers was the other thing I thought of. So like, as you can tell, I'm really on top of my game here, but I was like, I need to like look up like what should go in a kit like that.
Do you want my husband to contact you? Because he's absolutely up on this.
Honestly, yeah, I would love it. I would love it. Huh?
Like one of those battery packs for your mobile.
Yeah, he's got one of them. He's got one of them, Bex. He's got one of them. He's got a wind-up radio. He's got paraffin like candle things, so they last for ages.
Candles,
He's got loads of weird stuff. But yeah, he loves it. It's very exciting. Head torches.
Yeah.
He's got water stashed.
Yep, exactly. I said that to my mom. I was like, we need to get some like potable water. I mean, I'm not really imagining that like we're gonna be like living without for any like true duration of time. But I mean, truly, you never know. So, just want to be ready for it. But
you know what I do Jen? I like corn in a can, just as a nice snack.
I've had, corn in a can is honestly pretty good. It is pretty good. Yeah. So, although I will say, I don't want to need emergency surgery while I'm in the middle of a hurricane. I'll tell you that much. And I did feel for this lady because I was just like,
if you do, what you need is Sergeant Val.
Yeah, really.
Brilliant.
She was very organized.
Sergeant Dyer.
Methodical Val. Just the way she was cleaning that table.
I'll tell you what I wouldn't want though is a doctor who literally hadn't performed the procedure in probably 20 plus years, trying to figure it out for the first time again after so long because
and had some form of PTSD that he was working through.
Yeah, like I'm concerned if I'm going to remember my like login at work when I get back on Monday. So like I don't know how he's going to be able to do that surgery without having any refresher.
And I liked as well that the power went out halfway through, so Fred had to go in with a torch. So not only is he really unconfident, not done it for over many years, he's also then got no power, and then all he can see is like a shaky torch way of seeing it.
Well, and
I
also like cue the third or second bodily organ that is going to be outside
Oh,
of the
no, we
body
didn't
that
Fred's
we get
face
to
as
see.
well.
see.
Fred's face was me. I was like, that would be me. Fred's face was just
Well,
like, ugh.
I don't know what I thought, but an appendix looked like or how big it was or whatever. But when he pulled it out, I was just like, huh?
I
And
thought it looked
then
like a jalapeno.
yeah, it really did. And then Fred goes, "Oh, is that what it normally looks like?" And he says, "Yeah, except this one's 3 times bigger than it usually is." And I was like, "Really?"
Yeah.
And then he said it was filled with pus, and I was like, "Okay, you don't have to keep talking about it. I don't really want to hear any more about this." But it wasn't even that big. Like you're right. It literally was like as big as, or not even like a small jalapeno pepper was like basically the size of it. And I was just like, "Okay, well."
I could not have held the torch or the paraffin lamp. I
Well, I'll
would have.
tell you that I could have held the torch over having to do the thing. I wouldn't have been able to figure out how to do the thing. I don't
Well,
even know.
he is a trained doctor, though.
Well, he is, but I mean, like, he was cutting into her. Anyway, I don't want to gross Alex out, but I'm just saying,
Well,
like,
yeah, I was about to say, I would be on the floor.
oh my God.
I'm already like,
Oh.
I've got my pre-op booked, which is very exciting for the end of August. So it looks like I'm having surgery in September, but I'm already freaking out about the fact I'm having surgery. I'm already getting really, really nervous and need to calm myself down.
Yeah, yeah. But I
So
mean,
anyway,
apparently it went off without a hitch, pretty much.
yeah, so they saved her. Everything's fine. The baby's fine. Lovely baby boy. Also, the way that the Coast Guard was like, yeah, no one's leaving. And they were like, yeah, but we need emergency. And they were like, yeah, stay where you are. Yeah, but we really need to get away. Nah, stay where you are. Just stay there.
Well, again, just like so handy that this whole crew was available to these
Yeah,
people because I'm like Miss McCaskill definitely would be dead. Like no questions asked if
yeah.
like either from the childbirth or from the appendectomy. Like Mr. McCaskill would have been a widower living in that lighthouse like if they hadn't been there, you know?
Well, then the next
Just
morning, so they've had quite the night, and the horrible old cow from the church halls, Janet's grandma, and she
Miss
comes on the boat.
Morag.
Morag, is that her name? Oh, well,
Well, it's
Morag the
Miss
cow. What's Morag the cow
yeah.
from? And she's like, oh, the word is you all had quite the night last night, had quite the night of it. And it's like, yeah, you don't flipping say. Like, do you know what I
Well,
mean?
and you didn't do anything to help. So,
Yeah, but she's
excuse
like, oh,
me?
panicas never last long in these parts. But they'd already mentioned before that basically, so Mother Mildred and
Well,
Sister
wait a minute.
Julianne were
Hold
having a
up.
chat.
No one lasts long in these parts at the rate you're going
I
because you
know,
don't
I
have
know.
anybody that can help you guys
Well,
out. Basically, you
Mother
got a box
Mildred,
of Band-Aids from 1943.
I know, but Mother Mildred and Sister Julianne had already had a talk about the fact that the building that they were staying in, they didn't want it to be used for something. They wanted it to be used for something more secular. And then also the whole church hall, like the hall they'd been using where the Christmas tree episode happened,
Yeah.
was that basically they weren't welcome there anymore. Obviously, because of Morag, the old horrible cow. So
Yeah.
basically, this was kind of a bit of food for thought for Morag, the old horrible cow, because obviously they'd been there to help.
Mm-hmm.
And now she was a bit like, oh, actually, they have helped because they've helped my granddaughter, like my granddaughter have a baby. So we'll go back to that afterwards. But just, they go
Yeah.
together.
Yeah. It did work out. And Dr. Turner, so I had the trigger warning about mental illness because it really brought him back to like his wartime, like medical, like
Yeah.
experiences and stuff where he like his hands were so frozen that he didn't know if he was going to be able to perform surgery. And like, I guess like cut people's arms and legs off and stuff was kind of what he was talking about, or whatever he had to do. But anyways,
I studied medicine. I did not. That's an absolute lie. At GCSE history, I did medicine as part of that thing. I
wait,
studied medicine, I realised was very
the
different when I just said it.
you
And
said
all I
history and then you said medicine. Was it like the history of
the
medicine
history
or
of medicine in GCSE. That's what I was trying to say, but I said it really badly.
oh,
Like, I studied medicine. No, I did
okay.
not. I did the history of medicine in GCSE when I was 15. And all I can think of is Pare when he was in war and
Uh-huh.
he was using like tarmac kind of thing. What was he using? Hot oil and stuff to cauterize people's legs and stuff.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
he invented some else that I can't even remember.
Oh, wait. God, for a second there, I thought you were talking about Dr. Turner invented
No, that's how
this.
what I imagined though, Dr. Turner being like Pare with like
Oh,
really,
oh,
really old
oh,
battles. And I thought, hang on, Alex, that's well before his time.
oh, wait. Also, like, we maybe are going to talk about this as its own thing, but like, quick side note that like when Sheila and Dr. Turner like they had to do an errand or something, and so they apparently stopped and like just wanted to eat like a snack on the beach, and so Dr. Turner they said like, oh, this is so beautiful. Admittedly, it was gorgeous. Like, truly one of the
Yeah,
best
it
things
was
about the episode
gorgeous.
was that the scenery was real. But then Sheila goes like, oh, don't you wish the kids could see it? And he's like, I wish the kids could live it. And she's like, excuse me? And he's like, well, wait, what if we applied for the position? Like, it's like, I could be the doctor up here. Like, they need someone. She's like, I'm not even going to discuss this with you. Like, sit down and eat your sandwich, and then we're going to get on the road. I just was like, Dr. Turner, are you so crazy? Like, that was just the most, like,
the other thing they mentioned there that I really liked in that scene was when she was talking about Mother Mildred wrapping all the men of poplar around her little fingers. I don't know how she does it. And he was like, well, hang on, she wrapped you around a little finger to get May as well. So she's good at it. Can we talk about Mojo? I've written here, all she flaming did was bang on about that stag.
Oh, girls, I'm gonna go back to my old. I'm not here for Sister Mojo this week. I'm not.
I know.
Sorry. I'm really not.
I said last week she was good last week. She let herself down this week.
Oh.
Well, I do have to say the scene with her and Sister Hilda made me absolutely howl. She played Sister Hilda like an absolute fiddle. So do you consider me to be of sound mind? And then she looked so awkward. Sister Hilda was brilliant this week. Yes, after looking really awkwardly. And then basically gives her some money. I don't know how, like, she's obviously like...
I don't think she gave it to her. I think she just took it because she said she could. Yeah.
Oh, I thought she gave it some, but yeah.
Well, no, she just wanted her permission to be able to have some access. Yeah. I think she wouldn't have stolen it. She just wanted Sister Hilda didn't realise she needed it to basically travel to the Outer Hebrides.
Well, that's where I just was kind of like, clearly Sister Hilda was not up to Sister Julian's standard, because Sister Julian's standard Sister Julian would have found a way to be like, listen, sister, while I value everything that you bring, like, we also have to understand our own, I mean, like, she would have, and Sister Hilda, you could tell she was just like, wait, what? And I was like, well, this is like heavy that wears a crown, lady, because this is what happens when...
I will say though, Jen, Sister Julian did annoy me a bit today because...
Why?
So, right, let's just do this really quick. So basically, she's like got some petty cash or whatever. But it turns out she didn't actually, I think she just stole a ticket or just got on the train. So anyway, she gets
took £1, which is like not enough.
She had a ticket that went as far as Preston.
Yeah.
And then she scammed the rest of her way up there.
Yeah. So then she gets to the station, and she's like, oh, I'm traveling with precious cargo. This is the couple from before who had the baby.
Yeah.
And then she's like, can you move along? I require an unimpeded view. So this poor woman who's given birth has to shuffle along because she wants to look out the window.
I know.
Already entitled, well annoyed, right? Now, what really annoyed me here was, right, how they gave her an ovation when she came in, right? And Mother Mildred was very rightly so really angry
so
with
pissed
her.
Off. Yeah,
incandescent with rage, saying, you've basically fleeced the train line, you've done all this, you've had police looking out for you, you should be ashamed of yourself. Sister Julianne was like, oh yes, but there's no point in saying it now, we'll do it after the thing. And Mother Mildred was like, yeah, there is a point in saying it now. I would have been so angry. If I was Miss Mother Mildred, she'd be going on a first class ticket back to Chichester forever. Like, that is it, mate. You've had your chance in Anata's house now. You are going back to the mother house where we can keep an eye on you forever. You have just absolutely lost your privileges for life.
Yeah, you don't respect the fact that
you ruined it for yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's like, either you're going to follow the rules till the end or you're not. You know what I mean? Oh.
Yeah, and then she goes missing again to see this flaming CGI white stag, might I say. The CGI when they put it on was really annoying.
Do you think she actually saw the stag, or do you think she imagined the stag?
No, she did, because the others behind her did. The others behind her did.
Yep. Oh. I didn't.
Yeah, they were like, because it was still there, walking off in the back afterwards. It didn't disappear.
And Mother Mildred was like, we will accept his blessing. Like, she did see him. Okay. But what annoyed me about that was, so she's like, oh, amazing, I've seen the stag or whatever. I see him. And then Mother Mildred's like, oh, we will accept his blessing. And because Mother Mildred is religious, she'll forgive Sister Monica Joan and also really enjoy that moment. I wouldn't. I'd be incandescent with rage still.
I know.
I'd just be like, you've just done it again. This is your last warning. Not only are you going to Chichester, you're never leaving your room.
Well, and here's what's annoying about Sister Monica Joan is that she's always like banging on about how she's like, oh, I used to be able to do everything, and then my tasks keep diminishing with like, skill and importance, and like now they won't let me do anything fun. It's like, well, but not fun, but like you won't let me do anything because like you think I'm incompetent. But the thing is, ma'am, you are. And like you keep on proving your incompetence all the time. Yes, she is, absolutely.
She's untrustworthy.
The other thing she is, You know, like you see all these TikTok videos about people when they've got husbands who are awful and they do stuff badly because they try and they weaponize incompetence. That is Mojo as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because like, did you
Mojo is epitomizing the expression, give her an inch, she'll take a mile.
Oh, 100%. Honestly, I'd be so
Absolutely.
angry. She'd be going straight back to Chichester.
Yeah,
and again,
I'd
we've
be
got
like,
Chichester right again, ladies. Well done.
Yeah, like you're gonna stay there until you learn a lesson, and like that's what's gonna happen.
No, until you
like,
die, Jen. That's it. Done.
Oh, she was so annoying, this one. She was
Talk
so
about annoying. Can we talk about the Call the Midwife music this week with the Scottish styling?
Oh, yes.
I just thought, oh, they went a bit extra there. Like it was just a bit, like it was beautiful at first, and then it just carried on and I was like, all right, we've heard it now. We know you've got to spend the budget on it and all this, but we know we've heard it now. We just needed a hint, that's all.
You didn't have to go so full on.
Can we talk about Reggie?
Oh, Reggie.
Now, my daughter is obsessed with Guinness Book of Records. She reads it every night. I've got a new fact every morning when I see her in the morning. So this was a big thing for us in the household. She came in to see the Guinness Book of Records attempt because she wanted to see it.
But you know, when Violet says she has to hide his Christmas presents, when I was little, my mum had a secret cupboard.
Wasn't it under the couch, was it, with the money?
No.
It was on the sideboard.
Me and my brother were like, sometimes she would produce something as a treat and she'd be like, I had this in the secret cupboard. So me and my brother were convinced there actually was a secret cupboard. And when we moved house,
wait,
there wasn't a secret cupboard?
No, it was a suitcase on top of the wardrobe. I now know. But the removal men came and we said to them, like, if you find the secret cupboard, can you show us where it is?
Oh,
and then I did find it because I basically sought it out and I found.
You know what? By the way, listeners, she was 31 when they moved.
I found it.
I'm just amazed you didn't try to figure it out so much sooner than that.
Well, we just honestly thought it was this secret cupboard. But then post move, I then found that it was the suitcase on top of the wardrobe.
Okay, but here's the thing though, Bex. Like, you lived in a house that's like a normal house. You know what I mean? It's not like you lived in like a big mansion where it's like, wait a minute, what if it's in like the other, like
if it's in the West Wing somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Like there was nowhere that was like off limits or like I daren't go or whatever. I mean, you lived in like a regular house. Like, where did you think it was?
I was a child. That's why I eventually found it. And then I was so guilt-ridden that I'd found it. I just confessed all to my grandma.
Do you want to hear about
why would you confess to your grandma?
Wait,
why would you confess to your grandma? Your grandma wasn't the one.
No, because she was a trusted adult.
Yeah.
It couldn't be helped? Is that what you said?
No, I said a trusted adult. No, it couldn't be helped.
Well, I still am not getting it.
She's just an adult that she trusted and she just had it in her. She needed to let it out.
She was staying when I found it and then I freaked out because I'd found it and then I just had to confess to someone. I couldn't confess to my mum.
But you found it when you were an adult, when you were like weren't even living at home anymore.
No, I was still a child.
Oh, you found it when you were a child.
Yes.
Yeah, they moved house. She moved from up north down south down to Bristol when she was a child.
Oh, because I believed Alex when she said that you moved when you were 31, and that's when you realized where it was.
I was like 10 years old.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to hear about my mum's secret cupboard? When I was 4 and my brother was 6, my mum hid all the Christmas presents in a really, really secret place of her wardrobe. Not hiding any of the presents at all. Well done, Anne. Anyway, so Reggie is the man of the house until Fred comes home, and he's obsessed with making paper chains, which I'm not surprised. It's actually quite. Once you start on it, it is very addictive.
It's a great project, honestly.
Also, the one bit that gave me the ick was Violet saying, "Go and take your tie off and make yourself look groovy."
Groovy.
Oh yeah, I was like, fine. No.
Yeah, but that's what I've turned into now.
Yes, same.
You do stuff like that?
No, but I can just feel myself around my niece and nephew and around the apprentices and things when I'm at work. And I say things to them and I can just sense how cringe I am.
On sports day, I screamed, "Come on, Bobsy Boo," to my daughter. And she was like, "Mummy, can you please not say Bobsy Boo in front of people?" Like, I've like properly embarrassed her. And I was like, I'm so sorry.
That is embarrassing, actually. Yeah.
My niece won't let her mum, like, she just doesn't want her mum to come to sports day because she just yells so much. She's like, oh, she's so embarrassing.
Oh.
It's horrible. You don't realise you're just the cringe one now.
I know.
So
Like
anyway,
soon, Jen, you're going to be embarrassing your own.
I can't accept that. I
no, I
just
know it's
can't.
awful, Jen. It's happened in the last year for me.
I can't.
And I'm well cool, so yours will probably happen in about 1 year for you.
It'll never happen.
It'll never
Oh.
happen. It'll never happen.
I'm just gonna tell myself that. I'm just gonna tell myself
But
that.
yours are from New York. They're well cool.
I know.
They're probably going to be free, but they could better be
guys.
free and be like, guys, just don't go near me. I'm gonna just drop me off a block away, yeah.
I've already had two moments with my nephews. So they both have, my sister bought like a pack of sunglasses, and then they both pick the sunglasses they want to wear when they go out, and they love wearing like the white ones and the pink ones. And so it's always like who can get to the one that they say they want first, basically. But they like wear sunglasses when they're out and about, and they just look like the coolest kids. And then the other day I called them and we were FaceTiming, and my little nephew had on this like really cool, it was a hand-me-down, but it was like a really
That's
cool
even cool in itself that it's a hand-me-down. Do you know what I mean?
know.
Sustainability.
I know. Well, they had on like they also have these like tie-dye shirts, and they're like they love to wear the tie-dye shirts, and they're like also like hand-me-down shirts. And so they're like, he has black tie-dye and he has colored tie-dye. And so they like do that. And then so my cousin, my nephew was wearing this one, and it had like birds and leaves and like, you know, all like just a very cool print. It wasn't like a kid print, it was like a cool print. And he had a backwards baseball cap, which I think is my brother-in-law's, and like jeans and stuff. And I just was like, and he was just, I was just, and then the thing is, because we just visited them, they had been talking about us a lot, and so they were like, oh, I'm calling Auntie Jen on the phone, and they have like a little plastic phone, and so he was holding this like plastic cell phone to his ear, like calling me, and then that with like the shirt and the backwards cap and everything, and he was like, Jen, and I just was like, oh my god, I'm like, he's already
Well,
too cool.
my daughter at the moment goes,
too cool.
What up, bruh? And I'm like, you're not cool enough for that either, mate. Like, you can be young, but you're from Cheshire. Like, that ain't happening. Anyway, so Mrs. Higgins calls the Guinness Book of World Records because she wants to talk about the fact that they're trying to make the world's longest chains. The other thing that's happened is Fred was supposed to buy the bit to put it together and left it in his coat pocket and had it with him. So then,
oh wait, girls, did they say, Violet said like sticky bits or something? Did that mean like scotch tape? Is that what she's talking about?
I don't know. I thought it might be that stuff that you licked. I thought Bex would know. She's better on stuff like this than me.
See,
I think Fred had in his pocket them like
But I'm like, are you just describing like tape? That's what I was thinking.
No, because Reggie says to Miss Higgins that it doesn't taste nice. So I think it's, it's like the gum. It's like basically like an envelope where you lick it.
Oh, okay. Do you guys think they had tape at this time? Is that a thing?
I don't know. That's a very good point. I'm gonna say yeah.
Because here's like an insane makeup thing I found out like a while ago, is that they used to have
1937.
Yeah, like a long time ago, they've had mascara for a long, long, long time. But then I remember I saw something where it was like advertising, and it was like automatic mascara. And I was like, automatic mascara, what are you talking about? And basically it was a development where they take mascara that you would to get wet and then rub a brush into and then comb that over your eyelashes. From that, which is like a solid product, to the development of like a whatever mascara is, like a gel or like a cream or whatever that is, and then you stick a mascara wand into it, and then you twist it, and then it's like a mascara component like we would see now. And that was called like automatic mascara, where you literally would just open the tube and then you would brush the brush over your eyelashes, you stick the tube back in, and it's like always ready to go. And so when we were talking, so like now this is making me think, like, did you guys have like scotch tape like in 1960, or is that like a new invention?
It came out in 1937, so I'm going to say yes.
Oh, okay. Well, then my theory is wrong. Oh, wait. Is that why you said 1937 like 2 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Well,
don't worry. So anyway, everyone made chains, and Fred and the girls on the midwives and everyone on the
everyone in Scotland made chains,
and everyone in Outer Hebrides made chains, which I thought was lovely, and it made them a bit more welcome. Basically, as a sorry for calling you like horrendous
heathens.
Pagan people.
Yeah, heathens.
Yeah.
And
they
really
went to a party.
Yeah.
And it was all nice, and everyone had a nice time. They were like, ciao, don't really know how we're going to resolve this. Bye.
Yeah. Well,
we're going back to London.
Never forget they'd only been there for like a week as well. So
Yeah.
I mean,
But
the
you've
whole
all had
trip
your
was supposed to
babies
be
now.
10
Don't get
days.
pregnant or ill again anytime soon. Bye.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like, good luck to Mrs. McLeod when you have a baby in 4 months and like no one's here to help you. But oh well.
Well, Effie's not going to help you. She'll be drunk in a field. Right
And,
now.
and Isla's still gonna be crying over the cow. So
Oh,
yeah.
God. Should we just. Oh, don't even want to talk about Isla. Right. Should we do heroes and zeros?
Yes.
Oh, also, wait, just one last thing. Sister Frances being the babysitter for all of the Turner's children for the whole time.
Where was Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Tim.
Tim just kind of breezes in and out. He's like kind of here, like.
I mean, he is a child though.
But he's at home. It just didn't make sense. It was like, what's going on with this?
Yeah.
I just had to say that because I was like, the Turners, you just left your kids with like Sister Hilda for the whole week, like. Oh.
Well, no, she didn't leave them with Sister Hilda because Sister Hilda.
Oh,
Sister
Frances, Sister Frances.
Poor put upon Sister Frances.
Yeah,
I love Sister Frances though. So
well,
I think she was quite amused that Mojo went. I think she was quite into it. Probably also helped her life as well. Yeah, because she was out there looking after the Turner kids and basically sorting all the births in Poplar for a week plus.
Absolutely. Well, wait, and what did she say? She said something funny that it was kind of like the line that she had when she was teaching the baby birthing class, where she was like, we said we were going to give a bath to baby Jesus and then like reglue his arm back on because they broke it off. And I was like, okay, up to the usual antics there, like that's fine. So yeah, I think we covered it all. I'm just like so annoyed at Monica Joan too. Like there were just a lot of annoying people in this episode.
There really were. Well, yeah. Should we do heroes and zeros?
Yeah. There's gonna be only zeros this week.
Right. So who's going first? Shall I go first with my heroes and zeros, or do you want to go first?
Yeah. Go first. I have a feeling we're gonna have some overlapping heroes and zeros this week. But go ahead.
Well, I've got some. If we need to talk about it, I've got more anyway. Okay. So my zero this week is that horrible old Morag cow.
Oh yeah, Morag. Yeah.
She really annoyed me. She was horrible. I don't really think I have to talk about the fact that she was just absolutely horrific. She just really, really was. She was a complete and utter cow.
Absolutely.
I've just called her the old cow the whole way through. And she was one. Secondly, my hero is also a cow. It's the calf for helping Isla just be less annoying. So yeah, there you go.
Absolutely. Okay. My zero is gonna be Monica Joan because she absolutely just sent me to the moon with this one. Like it just drove me nuts. In fact, it was so annoying that when I started watching it, I was like, I know where this is going, because I remembered how annoyed I was when I first watched it, and I just was like, you're just so annoying. And like the thing is that like I really like it just grates on me when she uses her being a nun to like coerce people into doing stuff that she's so clearly not supposed to do. And like when she had that train conductor be like, tickets please, and she's like, gentle sir, I think you'll find blah 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 blah, and then he's just like, oh fine, like here's your ticket back or whatever. It's just like I hate that. And the thing is, like Mother Mildred, like she even went to buy the apples and she was like, do you think I could get a discount? Like, do you get it, right? And he was like, no sister, take them for free. I'm like, okay, well at least you offered to pay a price, you know what I mean? Like I get that she asked for a discount. That's
but
fair.
She offered to pay, Jen, but her purse was empty. She wasn't actually going to pay.
She was gonna pay.
I
didn't see the empty purse. But the thing is that like she at least tried to like play the game. You know what I mean? Like Sister Monica Joan just so annoying with that. Also, like this had literally never occurred to her until all of a sudden the Scotland trip came up, and then it was just like, now I'm so desperate to do this. Like, just so annoying. Okay, and then my hero is gonna be I'm gonna give it to Val.
Oh God.
Well, actually, no. Let me give it. I don't know. I don't know. There's like not very much. Like I feel like there's a lot of like really big ones this week. But you know what? Let me give it to Mrs. McLeod because she did have that beautiful heart to heart with her niece, and like she took her in when her niece was having a hard time, and like even though they didn't see eye to eye and they really struggled and stuff, I do think that ultimately she was gonna have a good path forward for that girl. And it's not easy like taking on a teenager and doing all that, and plus she had like another annoying kid to deal with, and like and she was gonna have a third kid on the way, you know what I mean? So like let me give it to her. She was like she was like stepping up this week. So
my zero is going to be Mother Mildred for thinking that it was a good idea to set up a mission in the Outer Hebrides.
Preach. I've literally written that. I was keeping that as a shout out if no one said it. Carry on.
God told her to do it.
It was so far out of the way. Surely there was people there were people nearer that could have stepped into that situation. It was just, I don't know what she was thinking.
Well, exactly.
And then my hero is going to be Val, because I was a bit, when you said Val, I was a bit like, oh, that's my hero. Because when they had to do the appendectomy, she just went into organisation mode. The way she was cleaning that table, just...
She went back into war mode because she was, she was a nurse in the army.
Mm-hmm.
She was just like, this is what we need to do. This is who's going to do it. Go, go, go.
Yeah, her and Dr. Turner called on their military expertise.
And Fred did by holding a lamp.
Yeah.
Holding
but he didn't
lamp.
pass out while holding the lamp, which, kudos to him.
Yeah, I would definitely have. Right, okay. Now, next week, we are going to be doing a season recap. So Jen's doing her quotes quiz again. Thank you very much, Jen.
You're very welcome.
The week after, we are going to be doing our listener special. So I've got a load of questions and stuff and good things to talk about. But if you want to send me an email on recallthemidwife@gmail.com. That's recallthemidwife@gmail.com. I said it really weirdly. And you can message us on social media, ask any questions you want us to look into or talk about, or anything about us, anything you want to talk about. We will totally, if we want to, talk about it. So
I'm excited to see what people are going to ask us about this time.
Yeah, we've got a few questions, but
do you have anything you want to tease in terms of just like a topic?
Well, we've got that AI thing that we've mentioned for like a billion episodes now that I've still not got around to. So we'll do that for definite. I'll open with that. So yeah,
but you've never mentioned that it's AI. So now you've.
Oh no, I have mentioned AI before for definite.
You did say AI before last week. You did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
I wasn't listening.
Yeah. She's not listened to that yet. She's over a phase of listening.
The thing is, I don't think it's very clear what it actually is, and so I think the listeners, if they did, I think they might be like, "How is you going to have an AI thing?" But anyways, it is very cool. It is very cool. At least let the AI do something good for us. You know what I mean?
I know. So thank you so much for listening, everyone. Follow us on Twitter, X, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, YouTube, because you can listen to it on there. You can't see our faces, which is good for you. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Well, can I just say about AI, when it's the end of the world and it has destroyed humankind, we can be like, but listen to this.
It was all worth it.
Fully.
It was all worth it. Also, girls, I'm ready to kind of like, I know we have the series recap to do, and then we'll move on from there. But like, I'm kind of ready to say goodbye to season 8. I just, I just realized like,
although fit to mend this one, Jen.
Huh?
Fit to mend this series.
Well, just Cyril, really.
No, we had a few husbands who were all right.
There were some bright spots. Absolutely love meeting Cyril. This season just wasn't hitting for me. I just feel like it wasn't, But anyways, all that is to say, I'm excited as we move forward as always. And series recap, and then on to bigger and brighter things. So
yeah. So see you next week, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Bye.